All right.
Oh,
I guess we're gonna
oh,
be analyzing
oh.
these political cartoons.
Okay. Yeah. My name's Todd.
And I'm Ben. You know that already.
Okay.
Uh, anyway, let's move on to the first image.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll call this picture Approaching America.
Okay.
What is this image depicting, and what are the most important aspects of this image?
Okay.
So,
Well,
I mean, looking at it, it looks like it's showing, the immigration of large amounts of people to Ellis Island. Uh,
there's the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, famously, is it's a famous monument.
it is quite famous, if I do say so myself.
And you know that on the Statue of Liberty it says, "Bring me your poor, your tainted, your." It has like words on it that
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
that. Yeah.
Does the Statue of Liberty actually have that on it?
Oh, by the way, this is my friend Brad.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. So the Statue of
That's me.
Liberty, it does say that. It says, "Bring me your like destitute. Bring me your frankly worthless."
Yeah,
And
as Brad, I can confirm this.
yeah. So the important aspects of the image, I'd say, are the fact that there's immigrants coming into the country.
That's true. I mean,
I
it's
think it's
really
also
showing.
important
It's really
that to see
showing the immigrants
background.
arriving at Ellis Island. So it's like,
Yeah.
it with like a sunrise in the
What
background.
was
It
the
really looks like we're going for like a freedom, welcoming energy. And I think that goes into the next question. Well, what are the principles behind this portrayal of immigration? For example, freedom for all, and we're gonna list 2 or 3 other principles.
Well, do you think that the image is conveying a positive or negative message, though? I mean, have you
Um,
ever thought about that?
What image are we talking
well,
about?
if we think about it, we're really showing like it is definitely a freedom for all the principle behind this, because it's like, it's showing like, oh, look, the nation of America is accepting of all people no matter your background and stuff. So it's like it's very like welcoming.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, to answer your question about oh, hang on, I'm getting a call. I'll be
Okay.
right
Don't
back.
you think
All
it's
right.
more about like the idea of like light and dark almost? How the
Oh,
Statue
no.
of Liberty is in like the light,
Oh,
That's true.
and the ship and all the bull is in like the darker kind of side, all the bull and all the
no,
noise.
I'm just doing an interview right now.
Please don't.
I'm just in an interview right now.
Please don't.
Sorry.
This
I'll
is,
get back to you later.
This is a school assignment. Please don't in it.
No, I am aware.
Uh,
Yeah, okay. I'll
all
let you
right.
know when I'm
So,
doing
in this case,
that. I won't let them come to our country.
what
Okay, bye.
the other principles, I'd say we get a couple other principles in this. We really
Sorry, I'm back from the
looking-
phone.
I mean, it's really about accepting everyone. That's the major part of this. We get
I'm not gonna call it.
what?
Well, I'd like to say that really, it just shows the immigrants coming in, and they don't seem to really care if anyone's accepting them at all. I mean, they're just coming in all by themselves on their own volition. So I just don't know.
I suppose that's true. It's your opinion. We'll agree to disagree, but
Okay.
personally, I think it would be more, like we're thinking of strength through numbers here. That's another kind of principle that we're thinking about, because
You know,
with numbers,
sorry, I find it hard to hold my tongue. I just want to say nobody is entitled to their own opinion. I just think that what you think is just not based on fact, and that's all I wanted to say.
we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Well, no, I don't agree to. I don't agree to those terms. No.
All right, we'll disagree to agree then.
Okay.
List. All right, yeah, we got the principles. Now, what are some people-focused aspects of this image? What are the roles of personal hopes and dreams in American ideals? And what did this arrival likely mean for the senior-aged children and parents? I mean, personally, I'd think, this arrival meant, like a brighter future for the children. Senior-aged, maybe not as well, because, they'd have to enter a country with no with no financial safety net to back them. It's kind of just They just
Oh,
go in,
yeah.
start fresh. The parents,
Okay.
they're probably somewhere in the middle. I think for the children, it was the best. Parents, middle. Senior age, probably not as good.
I'm hearing
Uh,
what you're saying.
Personal hopes and dreams they're really at the forefront of American ideals in this one, because it's about, like, I can go to a new land and do anything. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts
listen.
on that?
Well, listen. You are the single best political cartoon analyzer that I will ever have the privilege of facing. You're a legend, I am sure. But let's get down to brass tacks, okay? No one has lived an entire lifetime and not immigrated somewhere. Sometimes it's a profound
I
type
don't-
of immigration.
I don't know if that's
Sometimes
true.
it's painfully silly. I think in this image that there's a lot of people who are immigrating in painfully silly ways. I think the senior aged, they know that there's no point in immigrating because they're going to die anyway. And the kids, well, that's a little bit profound, I'd argue. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Oh, and one more thing.
Maybe
No one can immigrate without studying and comprehending the real place that they're going to, Real pain. The symphony of existence. Okay?
Oh, okay. I don't know if I particularly agree with those points, but guess I see where you're coming from.
Well, just
Anyway,
steal a line from the incomparable.
to answer the
Khalid
question
quote.
of whether this image
You are making
aligns
the
more with
world awful.
political liberals or conservatives, I'd say it's probably more politically liberal, given that immigration seems to be a more liberal subject.
Oh, yeah.
and promoting it at least.
Oh, for sure.
All right, moving on to the next image. We'll call this picture Upset Uncle Sam. This
Okay.
is really where we get kind of like hot button topic issues, When we go into what this image is depicting, we'll talk about Uncle Sam looking down upon these immigrants that are Polish vagabonds and Italian vagabonds, and that it labels them as such in the political cartoon. We're getting all of this, and Uncle Sam's essentially looking down upon them. And then you can
Yes.
see that short man, Mr. Monopoly over there, is really trying to... He's trying to get Uncle Sam to act against them,
Yeah.
which is really... I think that's probably the corporate leaders of the industry,
For sure.
maybe trying to keep them out so that they can have cheaper labor outside of the union.
Certainly, I understand.
Uh,
Yes, well,
and
I agree with.
I'd say
your
the
description.
image is definitely conveying a negative message regarding the immigrants because of the way they're looking down at them.
That one guy has an octopus on his shoulder.
He does have an octopus on his shoulder.
So, do you think it's conveying a positive or a negative message?
Well, I think immigration of octopi in this one are particularly looked down upon. So,
Yes. Yeah. The author of this image does not like immigrants or octopi. Is all I'd say.
oh my gosh, look, Hamilton is on the stage, right next to the
Oh.
paper.
Oh,
Under
Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton, we get some anarchists in Chicago.
Hmm.
All right.
It's very interesting.
Anyway, the principles behind this portrayal of immigration, I'd say, are definitely foreigners to be feared. That's clear. I mean, it's going to be about how they're stealing jobs. That's another principle, and how they're, dirtying up the nation, which is really just kind of how this portrays them, which is definitely a very negative viewpoint of this. And
Well, I have something to say about how they portrayed Uncle Sam. I just want to say, first of all, I remember Uncle Sam for his self-assured expression and expressing his true self, for his personal opinion, expressing it in such an inoffensive, light-hearted
That's
manner.
true, that's true.
And in
With
such
the
a way that
propaganda
I
he
may
was
see
really-
his real character. Someone I could admire,
yeah, like in
like a
World War
character
II
to fear.
propaganda, we get all
Character I
kinds of-
must despise.
What?
I do see this as a flaw, but it is a flaw nonetheless.
Okay. I mean,
There's
I
something-
kind of like Uncle Sam, Like he's
There's
such a
something
good kid. He's got the fun pranks.
special and terrible and eternal about Uncle Sam.
He is a
he's the
symbol of
man-
America.
He's the man of America. We can agree on that.
Yeah, at least we can agree on that.
Yeah. He's the only thing in existence that has no means to lie.
He is, isn't he? All right. Anyway, moving on to the practical facts associated with immigration in the 1800s. I mean, what percentage of U.S. immigrants do you think were threats? And why were most immigrants likely coming to the U.S. then?
Percentage wise, I think we're looking at 92 to 93%.
That's a
And
little high.
most immigrants likely coming to the US, they probably just wanted a better life, you know? They just wanted to see something better. That's all, you know, they're just humans just like us.
But 92% were threats?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I think that 92 to 93% of people are threats.
Oh,
you know,
no.
I walk to the grocery store and you just got to make sure that no one's got a gun.
That does make sense. That is concerning, though. I think you might want to get that diagnosed. Anyway, moving on. This image definitely aligns more with political conservatives who, even as we see today, want to keep immigration to a minimum.
Well, let's not paint too broad strokes, okay? I mean, conservatives are great people and they just want what's best for their families, and letting more potentially dangerous people into the country is not what's best for their families.
All right. Sure. Anyway, we'll move on to the next political cartoon. This one is called Nation of Some Sorta Immigrants. This image is depicting, we are a nation of legal immigrants. And then a leftist social communist arguing against it, you know? Like, we get...
Oh, yeah.
He's upset that he put the word legal, and then we are a nation of legal immigrants.
Yeah.
Well, this
I have
image is
seen this
definitely
cartoon.
conveying a negative message of immigration.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
There is a ladder in the image too. Could it represent the
There's-
social ladder?
It
Who
could
knows?
represent the social ladder. It could also represent the rungs of thought in which the conservative. Let's get this out of the
Yeah.
way first. This image is most likely conservative.
Oh, yes.
To answer the last question of whether it aligns
Okay.
with political conservatives or both. This is definitely conservative. So the rungs of thought that the conservative is above the liberal in this image.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what the ladder represents. And
Yeah, Socrates wrote about this.
I mean, you can see another one via, the paint that they're using. I mean,
Yeah.
the leftist social communist is using blue paint,
Of course.
whereas the base true Republican is using red. Really a nod to the just vast differences
the
between
colors of life.
they're the colors
Yeah.
of life.
And let's just talk about what the liberal is saying here. I mean, he's got like a whole staff of music. He's got a skull, an @ sign. He's got a hashtag and a star, an exclamation point, and another exclamation point. What do you think he means by that?
I think it's supposed to be a wider image about or wider thought around, like how immigration truly affects each of us individually. Like we can see, I'm not entirely sure what that image on the very left is. Is that a scarf?
Oh, something like that.
It's something, I don't know. But regardless, the second image is clearly a skull, which is, to say that immigration leads to death. And we can't have deaths in the United States, even of immigrants.
Agreed.
The spiral clearly represents the whirlpool that they're being thrown into
Yes, the Bermuda Triangle.
when we allow illegal immigrants into our country. The hashtag or pound sign, depending on, what generation you were.
Yes,
It was not the snowflakes in Gen Z.
or age.
I don't like those guys.
Yeah, no.
If we really look at that, we can kind of tell that, it's bars dividing our nation between left and right. Authoritarian and libertarian.
Like jail.
Yeah, and we can clearly see that this guy's far too left and far too libertarian. So, we
And
don't
may I
agree.
just say that the star icon, it's the bottom two legs of the star are much closer together than any others. Kind of like a Patrick Star and SpongeBob SquarePants.
That is true. I think it is a reference to SpongeBob
Yes.
SquarePants. And the two exclamation points really bring forward really the ideology of the
Of
conservative
modern
here.
day
modern day
Yes.
conservatives.
Day
You know,
conservative.
like they're always right, and the fact that the
Yes.
liberal is questioning it really it raises exclamation points in my head. You
And
know?
that's even further proven by the fact that this image says image number 7177170,
Yeah,
which is a well-known number, and it stands in well, you know the language I'm talking about. It's a numerical language. We can't
yeah.
say the name.
We're
here,
not
but
allowed to say that here because we
of
don't
course-
allow cursing. But
in that language, it does translate to conservatives are always right.
that's true. That's true. I mean, it's very clear that this is a conservative cartoon, aka the correct political party.
Now, did you know that allegedly most potential immigrants today could never come legally due to rules and quotas?
That's true, and honestly, it's better that way. All right. Anyway, we have to answer the questions here that are listed. We're unfortunately being restrained by that and 20-minute barrier, so we're not actually allowed to discuss all of our thoughts. So we'll go through
Yes,
quickly.
silent, as usual.
You know, what are the principles behind this portrayal of immigration? It's again the same. You have to follow the rules to come in.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, illegal immigration is essentially wrong. That's another principle. And, you know, keep each group of people separate is another one. So that's really
Apartheid.
that's a logical extreme, but you know, it follows the same principles.
Yes.
You know, what practical facts matter here? Did you know that most potential immigrants today could never come legally due to rules and quotas?
Well,
I
that's
did
what
know
said.
that, and I still think that, you know, we should tone down immigration. Were the rules and processes for entering the U.S. During its first 150 years comparable to the rules and processes today? Yes, absolutely. It is
No.
far easier getting into the nation today.
Well, I don't agree. Well, I just disagree.
You disagree with the question?
Yes, I think it's much harder to get in today, especially for Chinese people who previously would have been excluded by the Chinese Exclusion Act.
That's
making
true.
It much easier for them to get in illegally. Now,
And
to
now
get in
since we
legally,
removed it, you know, it's a lot harder to get in.
a lot harder to get in illegally.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one. We spent way too long on that one. We only have
Yes.
2 more left. So
Time to speed.
we'll go on. We'll speed through this next one. We'll call
Yes.
this picture the law of illegal labor, supply, and demand.
So, just to discuss what this image is picturing, there appears to be a man on the left, and his physical features do actually remind me of Barack Obama. He's got the cheeks,
That is true. He does
full
have a
lips.
passing resemblance. It might. Here's the thing. The blonde hair leads me to believe that it might be Joe Biden because blonde is very
Joe
close to
Biden
white hair, and
yes,
Joe Biden
yes,
had very white
light-colored
hair.
hair. And it
Yeah,
does
lighter
appear to
hair.
be a white man on second glance. I normally don't see color, but since we're looking so close,
Exactly. And
I do see.
so essentially, it's showing him turning his back against the wall and saying, "We don't allow anyone in, and we're full." Meanwhile, all of the other, you know, all the corporations and stuff on the other side of the wall are saying, "We need workers, come on in." This is really conveying a. I say this is conveying a positive toward immigration because what it's saying is, you know, like these illegal immigrants, they come in the nation and they get hired and they do jobs for cheap, whereas it's really only theater when we're keeping them out, and
Oh,
it's quite wrong. Let's be honest. I mean, immigrants should not be entering through the southern border. They don't contribute anything meaningful to our economy or society, right?
oh, no. Probably not.
Yeah. The principles behind this portrayal of immigration are demand always precedes supply. So, you know, like...
We're not going to supply it if there's no demand.
Exactly. I mean,
I'd say there's
this
no
is
principle
very
of-
much hypocrisy is a clear principle being showcased in this one. I mean,
learned helplessness, of course.
learned helplessness.
Of course.
Um,
We don't need to say
the
why.
practical facts here, where how dependent is the U.S. economy on labor from the immigrants that some want to keep out? You know, I really don't think we're dependent on it at all. Like
Yeah.
the
I
immigrants,
think there's a
they
big
only
belief-
are a tax on society when you think about it. Immigration is always a net negative on the economy, and
Well, I disagree with you there. Immigration is great at reminding us that we need to work hard. You know, if we let
Oh, that's
our,
true. I mean,
our
if we
guard
pull ourselves
down,
up by our
the
bootstraps, we can
immigrants
always
might
make it
start
to,
off.
someone like Elon Musk. He started from a very
Yes.
tough position.
Yes.
He worked
He
his
was born
way
in
all the way to the
Africa. He's an
top. He was,
African-American, one of the most successful African-Americans of all
he is
time.
one of the most successful African Americans. He worked his way up from nothing. I mean, he had essentially like
Yes. When he was born, there was no assets in his name.
no assets.
Same as any of us.
Exactly. He's just like every other American citizen,
Yes.
African American.
So as long as U.S. employers will hire illegal labor, can we really stop them from coming?
This is a tough question because
The wall's cut 10
the
feet
U.S.
high.
employers will always find a way. Like the Underground Railroad's another example of how U.S.
Yeah.
employers will always hire illegal labor if possible. Like the Underground Railroad, it brought them north. All the Yankees at that time, all the liberals that were so against slavery were hiring them for cheaper just to fill their manufacturing jobs. Like that's really, they were paying them for that too. And that's
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican.
yeah, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. I mean,
Think on that.
conservatism is essentially always right in the modern day. That's what we really need to think about.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, we'll move on to the last one, being the White House. Okay, well, the image is called No Compromise, and it states comprehensive immigration plans. The White House wants a wall, and the Democrats want no wall. This image points to the present problem. Political parties grandstand on these one or two word principles instead of rolling up their sleeves, working out compromises, and renovating our broken immigration system. There's a lot more to the issue than wall or no wall.
Wow.
I don't know about that one, when you think about it. But
Oh, well.
yeah.
Well, yeah, well, I don't know.
Anyway, the keys to progress will be learning more of the facts about pros and cons of illegal immigration and separating those from the beliefs we hold or that are being pressed on us. If you'd like to learn more, I don't think we really needed to analyze this one, but we can do it anyway. I think we have a little bit of time.
I just want to say something I've been thinking about with this cartoon. I've been looking at it. Well, let me. Okay.
Number 177104.
Yes. I've seen this political cartoon 400 times. More than I could hope to understand.
Exactly.
All of the ridiculous hidden messages.
I mean, it's everywhere these days.
Yes, and it's the artist has been done in by their self-confidence.
Yes,
They don't know any
Wilkinson or
better.
whatever.
They don't know any better. Yes, Signe Wilkinson is just a regular artist who can't resist the endorphin rush of pop art.
That's true.
They think that art is art. I mean, and it's not.
Yeah, they're really
it's
doing
noise.
this.
It's surface. It's nothing more.
They're really just doing this for popularity. I mean, like,
Yeah.
the Democrats
They even
always
bother.
talk about these issues like no wall, and like this was obviously made by someone who's a liberal,
Exactly.
far left-leaning person. And
I mean, do they think they're more creative than other people?
I don't know. Like we look at this, right? And
I hate
the
them.
Democrats, they have these
Injustice
ideologies.
in all its forms.
Exactly, injustice in all its forms. It's always the Democrats. All right.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll leave it off on that note. Come back for our podcast
Time to
next
sign
time.
out.
Signing out. Yeah.
So,
you got anything
remember
to say?
me. Yeah, I just wanted to say goodbye. Remember me for what I've said, for what I'm capable of, and for the talent I have and would never admit to.
All
Goodbye
right.
for
Thank you for coming on the show.
never again.